Hi everyone, welcome on board to Helper.tv.
There is this story that has been, gathering momentum for some time now, but I refuse to kind of go too deep into it because it is not something that is new. We've seen countless, and when I say countless, we've seen countless cases like this, and I will not blame, much. I will not blame these people. I'm talking about these allegedly perpetrators of this act. I will not blame them. I will not blame them. I will blame people. I'm talking about members. I'm talking about people who are Christians who put too much, so much on their pastors. It's like their pastor has become God. Well, they have chosen to be manipulated, maybe, because their pastors will open verses of the Bible and talk about Moses and talk about how certain people said something against Moses, and Moses, they were struck down, and they try to put themselves in that position of you cannot touch, say anything to me because God called me, regardless if I, hurt you, if I even put an end to your life. You can't let God be the judge. That's what they say. Oftentimes, they want respect here and there. A story of a man is called Apostle Chibuzor, Chinyere. His church is somewhere, I think, Port Harcourt, and is known for giving out money, alms. I mean, he's a cheerful giver. He gives out a lot of things. He's a pastor. He built free hospital, schools, and the report that we got is that he gives another thing again for free. But when he gives it for free, they said that he often will not want to take care of some of this. At least one lady has allegedly accused Apostle of laying with her, getting her pregnant, refusing her DNA when she asked. Why? Because Apostle is not listening to what she wants, her demands. She came into the relationship because Apostle coerced her into it. Like, she was in a situation where she needed financial support. Things were not okay. So she accepted, like, okay, after all, Apostle has money. Apostle will take care of me. And Apostle, removed his bula and did some things that, Apostle did, and she got pregnant, and Apostle refused to take care of the child. She wants Apostle to give her money to open a beauty shop that costs some certain amount of millions. Apostle refused. Apostle said, I'm going to give you only 500,000. And many other things. She said the police is involved, but the police can do nothing. Why? Because Apostle has money. Apostle has money. Apostle has connection. And we live in a lawless society where calls can come from a minister somewhere or another inspector of police somewhere that will call another DPO to shut the case down. So she said to use the most powerful tool, social media. Social media. Social media. And that's the reason why you're going to listen to the account of this lady. Do not forget, all of these are allegations. She got pregnant. She has a child. She's not hiding it. And it is all on social media. Apostle, I don't know. A voice note was released. Apostle claimed that he's not the only one. After all, there are other pastors doing this thing. Why only me?
I was already sweating. There was AC in the room, but I was sweating and I was scared at the same time. So I was like, I don't understand. But Daddy, there is somebody I want to get married to, and you're aware. So why are you actually asking me to do something like this? Why will you ask me to do something like this? What will I tell him? He said you don't have to tell him. He doesn't have to know. You just keep it between us. I was like, Even if you're asking me to go into a relationship with you, what kind of relationship exactly? He said I should come on, I should stop talking like I'm a child. Why am I talking like I don't know what I said, no, I don't want to assume. You have to say what you want. So what kind of a relationship are you talking about? He said, okay, since I want him to say it, that he is actually looking for a sexual relationship. I said that you're a pastor. Yes.
By name?
I said that Apostle Chibuzor.
Okay, allegedly.
Yes.
Okay.
He said that after all, he's a man. he has flesh and blood running in his vein. In my head.
He was saying this to you?
Yes. In my head, I was trying to comprehend like where this whole idea or whatever it was coming from. So I told him, I said, what if I say no? What if I say no? I want to say no. I don't want to do it. He said, just know that you cannot say no. You know me already. I do not take no for an answer. In fact, he got angry at that moment and said, why do you even think you can say no? You can't say no. I cannot take no for an answer. Who do you even think you are to want to say no to me? People, you do know how many ladies that are at my beck and calls. But it's just because I can't go to outside to start doing nonsense. I cannot do this because of who I am. This one, a general overseer. I'm bringing myself down to ask you for something like this. And you're saying no. Who do you think you are? You cannot say no. I was like, wow. But I still want to know, what if I say no? What to come with it? He said, in that case, be ready to leave my house. And if you're leaving my house, don't think that I will let you go just like that. Because I know people will start asking you, because people know I like you very well and that you are my daughter. So if you leave my house without you committing any crime, people will start asking questions. And I know you will talk. So if you leave my house, don't think I will just let you go like that. To me, that was a threat. It was a threat to me.
Allegedly, if it's what he said is a threat, yes.
Yes. So I don't know if I should say I thought about this whole thing. I could not think about it. I just told him that, please, that I wanted to sleep. This thing was on a Saturday evening. I told him, please, I needed to sleep. I've heard you and I will think about it.
I remember the month.
Sorry?
I remember the month and the year.
This was in 2019, between March and April.
Okay.
Yes. I left his room that day. He was calling me back and I left his room. I went to my room where we do sleep with other children. I couldn't think. I don't know, like, I did not know what to do at that point and I was confused.
No.
I tried my best to avoid him throughout that day. So the next day, we all went to church. I was in church and he was on the altar preaching. I wasn't seeing him. Everything I was saying was the things he was saying into my head. They keep sounding, they keep coming back, but I was just on my own. I was just there. Nobody knew what I was going through. We came back to the house that Sunday. I tried my possible best to avoid him. And then on Monday, he sent for me.
Oh, no.
On Monday, he sent for me. That the children came, Daddy, Auntie Lovett, Daddy's calling you. What will I tell the children? If I tell them to go and tell him that I'm not coming, what will I be explaining to them? So I just stood up and I went to meet him. He was like, are you still thinking? I'm sure you've made up your mind about this whole thing, that he doesn't know what I'm thinking about. After all, it's not like I'm a virgin. After all, that if I just agree, whatever I wanted, he will give me. Is it house? What is it that he cannot give me? Money. I'm planning for my wedding. He was going to give me the best wedding in Port Harcourt. Was going to do this. He started saying so many things. I was just looking at him. When he finished talking, I asked him, I said, I am aware that if I agree to this, it is going to be a hidden relationship, right? He said, yes. I said, fine. In this situation, what if I get pregnant? He said, is he a child? That he won't let me get pregnant. I said, it's not about being a child. Pregnancy can happen. So if you're saying you won't let me, it's the same thing that you have to use protection, whatever will happen, if at all anything will happen. He said, but how do I expect him to go and get protection? What will he tell people he wants to use it for? Imagine if him going outside. I said, if that is the case, I will buy it for you. I asked him for money. He gave me 10,000 naira cash that day. And then I went out. I went to everyday supermarkets and I bought him a pack of Durex. Yes.
Durex, that's
came back to the house. Yes, came back to the house, gave it to him. He was just looking at me and I left. So the next day, he was actually still asking. I have thought about the whole thing because honestly, it's not like I haven't been in a relationship. But someone like him, who he is, the threats, the fear, I was not aware if he had a dirty lifestyle I did not know before now. So I did not know what to be scared of. I didn't know, like, my head was full. So when people are asking, did he rape you? So it wasn't a rape. So when I thought about this whole thing, I said, okay. I told him, fine, if this is what you want, No problem. But on one condition, I don't ever want to get pregnant. He said he has heard me. I should stop preaching. That do I even see him like someone who will not be able to take care of his child if anybody get pregnant for him? I said, okay, thank God you're the one saying this. So the relationship started. It wasn't once, it wasn't twice. He kept demanding for sex.
So he had his way.
Yes, he had his way. And at each single time, he refuses to use the protection.
Are you serious?
And I made sure I always reminded him. I said, I asked you to use protection and you're always refusing. He said, I am in his house and I cannot call the shots. I can't tell him what to do in his house. So he called the shots and he decides what happened. And I kept telling him, don't get me pregnant and expect me to go for abortion because I will not. Yeah. I told him this. He said I should stop preaching. I said, no problem. He kept having his way. Now, this whole thing started in March.
When you say he kept having his way, what do you mean by that?
When I mean that, he kept demanding for sex.
Was he? Yes. Did it happen? Did he sleep with you? Did they have sex with you?
And it happened. Yes, he kept sleeping with me without protection.
Okay.
Yes. So.
Well, as it is, Apostle did not address the issue on ground, and he didn't really want to address it. That is what I think, because there is nothing for him to address. It is just what it is. But Apostle cannot, handle this the way it should be handled. Maybe Apostle believed that this young lady is trying to blackmail him, like, you have to give me what I want or I'm going to go public. And he felt like, okay, do whatever you want to do. You are too small to threaten me. Apostle got into this knowing fully well that there is a possibility of her getting pregnant. Apostle got into this allegedly trying to coerce her to get an abortion, like that. That's what we heard several stories, that there are some that did abort, there are some that did not. And it is so strange. I mean, there are countless pastors, religious clerics who have children here and there, but according to the scriptures, there are specific, or let's say specification, for you being a bishop, and it follows down to a pastor and all of that. A man of one wife, a man that is disciplined, a man that is in control of his home, and all of that. This is just to kind of lay down that structure. But we are all human beings at the end of the day. Maybe God allowed this to come out so people can see who their pastors are and not worship their pastors, because majority of them are taking off the focus from God upon themselves. That's just it. They want you to kneel down when you see them coming, and they say you are bowing for grace. I don't know if these people do not read Bible, where the apostles went to certain parts and those people came down and bowed for them, and they said, no, we are human beings like you. Do not bow for us. We are not angels. But they said, no, they are not bowing for us. They are bowing for grace. As if those apostles in the Bible, they lacked grace. There are some practices that you see, and you will probably wonder where it's coming from. I don't know. Maybe God has allowed it now. Maybe back in those days, God did not allow it. It wasn't something that the apostles wanted. It was personal, like, no, don't do that to us. We are normal people like you. Maybe now God has permitted it. I don't know. But this issue of, sexual looseness, pastors removing their gbola here and there, knocking choir, knocking this. In this case, she explained herself. You heard what she said, how she, got, coerced by the pastor. Of course, she went into it knowing fully well what could happen, but she thought and believed that Apostle had all the finance to take care of whatever it is that comes out of it. And now that she claimed that this thing has happened, who is going to handle this? Is it the police, human rights, or the court? Because our story is out on social media now. What is the next thing? Most of these pastors do not have any shame. They are not afraid of anything. Gone are those days that you think if your scandal comes out, people will stop coming to your church. No, you have already eaten, you have already drank in that church. And some people are fanatics anyway. They will even insult you and tell you that you are going to die for talking about this thing that their pastor got involved in. It's so bad. It's as bad as that. So do not think their churches will be emptied or their members will stop. No, 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 no. It's not going to stop nothing. People go to church for certain reasons. And there are people who are also practicing to become pastors too. So if you say a pastor is doing this, a pastor is doing that, thinking that this will kind of make them feel like, no, this is not what I want, you are wasting your time. They are not losing members. I mean, they are not losing the kind of members that they have. But maybe some people will be like, no, I don't want to be under the tutelage or under the, in quote, anointing of a man who is constantly aborting this, getting this one pregnant, this and that. It's your choice. I don't know. Like I said, these allegations. Like and share this video, subscribe to this channel. See you in the next update.
I say a very big thank you to those who have taken time to subscribe to this channel. And if you're yet to subscribe, kindly tap on that subscription button and also the red bell icon so you will be notified whenever videos such as this are uploaded.